Hi guys, and welcome back to Semajically AI. This is the fourth episode, and we are about to tell you this story, The Eternal Fisherman. Let me take you back in time to medieval England, where a young fisherman was just casting off in the hopes of catching lots of fish for his family's dinner that night. As he cast his rod into the lake, he sat back and relaxed as he fished. Everything was normal that day, clear blue sky and a brightly shining sun. That was until the sun randomly disappeared behind a cloud, the sky went grey, and suddenly a storm began to brew out of nowhere. As he reeled in his rod without catching anything and rowed frantically back to land, he was suddenly struck by a very powerful flash of bright light, surging him with some strong, unknown force before throwing him in the lake with a splash. Being a good swimmer, he managed to swim back to the shore and staggered for a bit before collapsing to the ground as though dead. Within seconds, his rapidly aged body reverted back to his youthful appearance and regained consciousness, breathing deeply. He wondered what had happened to him as he walked into his town to buy some fish from the market, only to be struck by an arrow that had gone astray, causing him to rapidly age and drop dead once again. The same thing happened as before. His body reverted back to his youthful appearance and he returned to life. He didn't have time to wonder what was going on as the people of his town grew suspicious of him, thinking he was in league with the devil, and ran him out of town. Over the next decade, he kept a low profile, trying not to let himself be seen, only to find himself being hunted down in an angry mob and burned at the stake, only to rapidly age, die, revert back to being a young man, and return to life for the third time. He made a run for it before they tried to burn him again. It was then that he realized that this was going to keep happening every time he suffered a mortal wound. He'd rapidly age, die, revert back to his youthful appearance and return to life. He was now immortal and had to go into hiding for most of his life. In 1945, he finally came out of hiding, assumed the name of Stephen Marsh, and enrolled himself in university to study history, and graduated in 1949, now a fully trained historian, and couldn't wait to share his expertise. But he was going to be very careful not to reveal his true identity to anyone. By 1953, he was hired as a history professor at Groningen University, and his classes became a hit with students. They wondered how their professor could look so young, but didn't let him know they secretly knew his true identity. Over the next 7 decades, he taught generations of history students and eventually decided to retire for a quiet life. That's when he discovered there was a group of 3 other immortals operating in secret to protect the world. Amber Coleman, Jenny, and a mysterious man whose identity was shrouded in mystery as well as his immortality. They invited him to join them, briefed him on what they actually did, and he accepted his place amongst them. That very same day, they received a red alert from the beach in Midhampton and had to go and intervene. There, they met and had to help discipline a troublemaking 10-year-old boy named Luke Stenner for his dangerous behavior after he'd tried to drown his own sister. A reminder that the Stenners were created by my best friend, Darren Stratton. Thanks again, brother. Appreciated. This episode is a prequel to the first episode, explaining the backstory of Stephen Marsh, the Eternal Fisherman.